I love you.
Welcome back, everybody. So happy to have you here. I am the Green Traveler from Gorsh.
And I am the Faceless Leone, and here we are. We're just going to get...
You okay?
Eventually, we're going to get enough popularity that they're going to start fining us for your interpretation of their most beloved character. This is the Disney playlist.
That was nowhere near Mickey Mouse. It was terrible.
No
resemblance. No resemblance whatsoever.
See, but what you're doing is you're putting that image in the people's heads, in the potatoes' heads. So now we've committed thought crime against Disney, the overlord.
I am not that intelligent. I don't have that kind of brain power. You were all out there just thinking, like, that's a silly voice. That's so nice.
It is not Mickey Mouse. We're here to talk about Disney movies.
Not.
This is Green and Disney on the Disney. And the Screen Faceless on the Couch of podcasts about movies and TV.
The takeover is already underway.
It's already happening. That's right, guys.
They're seizing all of our assets.
Disney doesn't pay us. Too bad.
No.
Too sad.
They don't. But Disney, if you want to come on the show, by all means, you're welcome to whenever you want. Just get a whole company in here as a guest.
Yeah, we're here with Disney.
Hi, we're here with Disney Mouse.
My name is Disney.
It's the last episode of the Bronze Age. Of the Bronze Age era. The Bronze era.
Hurrah. I don't remember.
Hurrah, indeed. Yeah, I'm trying to think back to all of them.
Well, yeah. We can do the list at the end.
Yeah, exactly. Because we're going to have to choose a winner and a loser.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I don't know if we've actually been choosing losers before, but I feel like we might as well. It's nice to just poke fun at people. But no, we're talking Oliver and Company. So it's very exciting. I feel like, as I've said before, we had entered a bubble of Disney films where I had not watched them before.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I've watched this one. It seemed familiar. Especially, is it Dodger? Is that the dog that's it? Yeah, especially Dodger's design. He seemed very familiar to me. I mean, I know there's probably a lot of characters that look like him, but like his character specifically, him singing. I mean, obviously, I know why his singing seems familiar.
Yes, he is played by Billy Joel.
Woohoo!
So there you go. And I was trying to pull up the music department because I wanted to know if he had a hand in the writing as well. But it does not appear so. Maybe he does. I don't know. The fuck would I know?
But like you said, it's a musical.
Yeah, it's
That's exciting.
Musical. And it's like, I feel like it's the first one that you could really call a musical from this era. If I don't... No, Winnie the Pooh is kind of a musical.
It has a few songs. That's true. They're
but
kind of
I can't recall if any of the other ones this age were musicals. They had numbers, obviously.
Yeah.
But it wasn't really people singing them. The Rescuers, the little girl does sing one song, but if it's just one song, I don't think that makes it a musical.
Yeah, I agree with you. And when I'm thinking about Winnie the Pooh, too, isn't it mostly like an off-screen chorus singing a lot of those songs?
Winnie the Pooh sings like 2 or 3 songs.
Does he have 2 or 3? I know I can remember one specifically, but like I can't remember many more than that. I just remember the... yeah.
And then the honeybee one.
That's true. Yeah, those two I remember.
And... Shit, what's the other one?
It's just like the Heffalump song.
Oh,
the Heffalump song was chorus in the background.
That's true, but I still feel like it's still, because of how it's presented, it still is presented like a musical.
Right, but I feel like with a musical, you have to have the characters sing. Like it can't be Can't be a soundtrack.
We already established that Winnie the Pooh sings.
Winnie the Pooh, yes, Winnie the Pooh does. But as you established prior to that, if one character sings one song, and I know Winnie sings two, but does that qualify as musical if it's just one character singing two songs?
You might be right. So this movie is about a
This
cat.
is what we're here for. We're here to define genres. That's what this podcast is about.
This is the most musical feeling of the movies of this era. So we have a cat named Oliver, and all his brothers and sisters get adopted out of the box, but apparently people don't like ginger cats in New York.
I guess
because
not.
they just left this cat in the box to almost drown in this next storm to come. And
it's not like
it
he's
was
the cutest little
really
shit there ever was.
Yeah, it was. I know I watched this movie a lot as a kid, and I recall feeling bad for Oliver at that point. But as an adult, I'm like, what the fuck, people?
Yeah, I know, for real. It was rough. Another thing that shook me too is on his first night alone in the big city, when it's at nighttime, he's like chased by these like crazy stray Doberman. And right. I'm just like, I was sitting there just watching that. I'm just like, oh my God, how many like crazy stray dogs are there? Like, I know there's gotta be in New York, of course. Yeah. But like, just thinking about trying to walk my dog if I was in the big city, I'm like, man, would you feel safe? Like, and I'm not even scared of other people. I'm scared of stray Dobermans coming at my dog. Just because that's what this movie presented.
So eventually, Oliver, did I say he was played by Joey Lawrence?
It's out there now. Your cover's blown, Joey.
He meets Dodger, who is some kind of terrier, played by Billy Joel. And it's actually Artful Dodger, too. Like, most of the names are direct pulls. Like, I didn't even mention, this is very much based off of Dickens' Oliver Twist. Oliver Twist or The Parish Boy's Progress. I just want to get that out there. That's what it's based on.
Gotta give it its proper subtitle. Dickens liked his subtitles.
So Dodger, he kind of plays a mean trick on Oliver to get some sausages, and Oliver, wanting some of them sausages, had to go and find Dodger, and he meets all of Dodger's crew, which include Tito, played by Cheech Mariner, Einstein.
Cheech Mariner?
Yeah. Einstein is Richard Mulligan, Francis is Roscoe Lee Brown, and Rita is Cheryl Lee Ralph. And they're all like, oh, a cat. Ooh. And then their master, Mr. Fagin, played by Dom DeLuise, comes home. And,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it is revealed that Fagin has trained the dogs to steal what they perceive as valuables, so that he could pay back Mr. Sykes, Bill Sykes. So, like, I don't remember what Fagin's first name is in the book, but he and Sykes, they're directly pulled from this, but it's based in the modern setting of New York. Mm-hmm. And Sykes, this kind of like loan shark kind of character, and a big bully. So Fagin owes him a lot of money, and Sykes is very disappointed and gives him 3 more days. And so while they are out and about trying to find the treasures, Oliver meets this young girl who decides to adopt her, and she's Miss Money Pinches. So there is a heist in this movie.
Yeah, Oliver's adopted by a kind of a slightly rich, well-to-do family.
Yeah, her name was Jenny.
And Oliver is happy.
Played by Natalie Gregory.
Right, and she is the daughter of a well-to-do family, and it's very, Oliver's very happy there. And the only issue is there's one kind of mean poodle, who's very, I think it was a poodle, I'm not sure actually.
Georgette.
Georgette, thank you.
Bette Midler.
Bette Midler, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And this is the thing. I didn't do any research for this movie, so all the cast is hilarious to me. I knew Cheech Marin. He is great. He plays a little bit of a stereotype Chihuahua, but at the same time, it's Cheech Marin, so like,
it's
I fucking
really
loved
funny. It's hilarious. Honestly, he and Francis have some pretty good bits together, I think.
Yeah. And when Oliver's adopted, Oliver finds himself really happy there. It's a very peaceful thing. Even with Georgette, it's still a very peaceful, cushy home life, which is what he wanted from the very beginning. There we go. Now, the problem is the dogs, Oliver's company, if you will, believe that he's been kidnapped or catnapped. So they go in there to rescue him. And it's a long thing, but basically they do rescue him. Mm-hmm. And Fagin immediately finds, like, not immediately, but Fagin, upon finding Oliver back in his care, finds also a lost and found paper where Oliver's, with Oliver's face on it.
Right. Oliver also had a collar on now with the tag.
Oh, that's right. That's why he knew that. Yeah, so he gets the right idea. And here's the thing with Fagin. Yes, he steals from people, but he is still kind of a warm-hearted person.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't like doing harm. He just does what he needs to survive.
Yeah, there is a backstory that they don't go into. You don't know why he borrowed the money from Sykes. Yeah, I kind of have my own personal theory that he had a significant other and then she got sick and they didn't have insurance. So they needed all the money they could get and she died anyways. I can imagine that being a story that would really make me fall in love with Fagin. And I'm already in love with him because Dom DeLuise, like you said, makes him so warm. Like he talks to the animals like they're people. And in return, the animals really try to take care of him. It's so cute. Like they tuck him in. They tuck him in when he's in distress and put a dog biscuit in his mouth, and he calms down and he's like, "Thanks, guys."
It's lovely.
So
I really love that scene, and none of the inhuman qualities of the animals seems like out of place around Fagin, because like as you said, he just talks to them like they're his family. Mm-hmm. And so it's very good. It's really well done animation mixed with that little story. Because I mean, around other people, they do kind of just seem like dogs. Sure they still talk, but you can kind of overlook that the humans won't understand that.
Right.
But like them doing human actions like pulling up a blanket or throwing an ottoman underneath his feet and putting slippers on him. Like, it feels right with Fagin. You don't see that with the other human characters. So I do applaud them on that because it was a really good moment. But what ends up happening now is, Fagin realizes, oh, this cat might belong to somebody who's rich. Mm-hmm. That's how I can get the money to pay back Sykes. And then Sykes, I don't want to spoil it. He turns that deal on its head a little bit, and you got an even more chaotic third act.
Yes.
And a well-done one because it makes Sykes a very unlikable character. I mean, he already is terrifying and unlikable, but now he's just he's disgusting. So it's really well done. I really enjoyed the story. I feel like I've read Oliver Twist a long time ago, but I don't remember much about it. But I do love Charles Dickens.
Right.
So, I kind of like this small little area of Disney where they're just taking stories and just, I mean, they've always done that.
Right.
But I like it no longer being like fairy tales or like these kind of fancies. It's just a book that they find interesting.
Right. So was Robin Hood in this era or was that earlier?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it was in this era.
So they kind of do a similar thing with Robin Hood. I feel like it's basically the same idea except for they're like, yeah, but let's not do it in Victorian London. Let's do it in New York now.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that could have been more fun for Robin Hood if they really went concept with it.
Right. I'd be able to stay awake through it.
Yeah, there's just not anything that's new with that Robin Hood movie. But speaking of new, I have seen several interpretations of Oliver Twist. And from the story I remember, this is pretty loyal to the story, the beats of the story.
Yeah.
Anyways, I do believe that the character Jenny, who might or may not be named Jenny in the book, I can't remember. I believe that they met each other. She convinced her caregiver or whatever to take him in, and then it turned out that they were actually related, if I recall the story correctly.
That seems similar to what I vaguely remember.
So that's like the main difference, I feel like, except for everything's cats and dogs.
Yeah. there's still that kind of villainous character in Jenny's household, but Georgette immediately softens. I mean, she has her villainous moment, but it's only one moment, and then after that, she kind of does become part of the company, which is kind of a good how that happens works well. You're like you feel okay with it. It doesn't seem like it's out of the blue that she switches immediately. It's just she likes her fucking privacy. She likes being the princess of the household.
She sure is the princess of the household. I mean, you don't even get to meet this girl's parents. You just meet her butler, Winston. Who played Winston? William Glover.
He seemed a little bit questionable at times where it's just like, I don't know if you have good intentions or if you're just like the butler from Aristocats.
Oh, shit. Well, it did definitely seem like, okay, Jenny. I mean, I can't really tell you no, but I don't think your parents are going to like this.
Right.
Like several occasions.
There were moments, though, where I thought maybe he's the reason Oliver ends up getting, back on the streets, but no, his character is vaguely good.
Yeah.
He is. I mean, the character himself is great, but his character's personality is vaguely good. It's just a little questionable given Disney's history with butlers.
You're worried. You're just worried. That's all.
Yeah, I was just like, I don't trust him.
So do you want to do? I feel like that there's probably more to say, and maybe we could squeeze some more stuff in our closing statements. What do you think?
Yeah, let's squeeze it in the closing statement. Before that, the only thing I do want to talk about is Billy Joel himself.
Okay.
I thought he did a good job, honestly. Mm-hmm. Normally when you take artists from other mediums and try to make them into actors, it doesn't always work out well. Wrestling can make it happen because most often they do have their acting gig. It's a TV show. There's always a story going on in wrestling. People are always giving each other crap, and it's really, if that's what you're into, I can understand it because I've seen some wrestling skits and it makes sense. But bringing singers into acting, it's a different kind of, it's a different step up. I guess not up the ladder, but onto a different ladder.
Yeah, it's on a different scale.
Lady Gaga did a great job. I mean, you can do it like Lady Gaga. I think Barbara Streisand was an singer before actor.
About Lady Gaga, I just wanted to say, I feel like her persona was in such a way that she was already getting a lot of exercise in acting.
Right.
For her particular, I think that helped her transition into pretty great acting roles, the ones I've seen.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think, she definitely had to put on a persona, I think, for the fame kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And doing that has definitely helped because that's, that is acting in its own right.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. I think just the way she is and the way she has to be has helped her with that. But then voice acting in and of itself is a completely even different boat. There's more to it than that. And I just, Billy Joel uses his voice all the time. Of course, that's his job as a singer of a band. But just coming in and doing this dog, it worked really well. I was really, because that was the only name I knew coming into this. I didn't do research. I didn't write anything down in my notebook. I don't know why. I was just very lazy last night when I watched this. But the one name I saw and remembered during the credits was Billy Joel because I was like, oh, God. And I was like, this is going to be interesting. And it was fabulous. He has...
Yeah. Dodger is very compelling.
Yeah. What is his main song? He has that one song.
I don't know, but it's about New York. It's the
all I can remember is Savoir Faire.
The Beat of the City or something like that.
He has a French line in it. Like there's this French... couple French words at the end of one line, and that's all I can remember. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but I think it was like Savoir Faire. Savoir Faire?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It was good. It was such a good song. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So I was hoping to find where just a quick list of the numbers somewhere because they are. I feel like the numbers in this one are particularly good.
Yeah, I think they're good. I think that one with Billy Joel singing that song is the only one I remember at all. But I did enjoy the music, so I agree with you.
I like I like the song that she sings to
who's she?
Being Jenny to Oliver.
Gotcha.
I believe, though, the song you're thinking of is Why Should I Worry? Oh, don't do that. Oh, no.
Yeah, that is it. That is the song. Why should I worry?
Yeah.
Why should I care?
Yeah, nobody wanted to hear us.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It is.
No, I did a good job.
You did a good job. You did.
It's one of those things I'll listen back to it on the edit and be like, oof. Delete.
So I don't know which song Jenny's song is, but it's really nice. It's like a lullaby. It's when she's doing her piano lesson and Oliver's playing with her. It's very cute.
And Georgette's looking on and growling.
I gotta get rid of this cat. That's what Bette Midler sounds like, right? Perfect isn't easy. Bette Midler sings that song, and that's pretty fun too. When Georgette is waking up, and she definitely puts on a face, which is just kind of hilarious to think about a dog who requires that kind of grooming when they wake up.
There's some moments with Georgette where it's mostly noticeable with her because was she white, right? Was she a white poodle?
Oh, she's like
I can't remember the color.
Blue color.
Grayish. Yeah, it's just there's moments where she's in shadow and they like completely changed her color tone because she's in shadow, or she's closer to the camera and that's what puts her in shadow. And it confused the fuck out of me sometimes. Like there's one moment in particular, I think it's during that song, not the song that Bette Midler sings, but the song that Jenny sings.
Okay.
But I think it's during that song because Georgette like walks in front of the camera and you can see Jenny and Oliver playing in the background. And when she crosses in front of the camera, she's like 3 shades darker than what she normally is. And I was just like, what's going on? Because I didn't recognize her because she was so close to the camera crossing in front of it. It just, nothing against the animation. The animation is actually really beautiful for this movie. It's a very different style than the last one. But some of the things they just did with Georgette,
like Disney at the same time.
Exactly, yeah. But some of the things they did with Georgette just threw me because they would just alter her color tones for different lighting. Yeah, I get it. It makes sense.
Hard color spectrum to work with, I would imagine, that gray blue color that she is.
Right.
So, did you happen to give it a rating for your closing statement?
No, I don't think I did. I would give it... I'd only give it 2.5. It's still... While it's very enjoyable, it's not one I intend to come back to a lot. It was just a very nice film. So...
I can appreciate that. I like it quite a bit. It gets a face. I'm not going to say it gets a face and a half, but I do remember watching this one quite a bit as a kid, and it holds up. So, that's cool.
Amen.
I probably will actually watch it again. I think the numbers are pretty good, and
I'll definitely watch it again, but it's not gonna be quick.
Yeah, this is another one that my brother really liked to watch. The other one was Fox and the Hound, but I don't know what it is. He was far less into fantasy than I was, so maybe it was because it felt both of these stories feel like they involve real people from the real world. So that might be why he enjoyed it more. But I mean, that is, I feel a touch peculiar for a child his age. At the time we were children. I mean, he's an adult now. And he only watches South Park, so.
But shall we look back at the era as a whole?
Let's do this. Hit me with that list, because I don't remember.
Could you hit me with the list?
All right, I got it. I got the Googles in front of me.
While you're doing that, I guess I could say, looking back at the very beginning of this era, I remember reading the words that this was a decline for Disney. That it was, it's financially it was a decline, but like that even in quality it stepped down. And I would say I'm pleasantly surprised that didn't ring true for me. It is definitely a quieter era. but I think that they still did a lot of good stories. And it's just a different style. You know, they weren't fantasy. They weren't all fantasy. So it was a different style of story. But,
so,
you know.
All the movies that we put together in this one era, this list that I found real quick, actually split them into two. The Bronze Era and the Dark Ages.
Oof.
Yeah. So it goes for the Bronze. The Aristocats was our first. Robin Hood, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. The Rescuers. And then they put that separation there with The Fox and the Hound, The Black Cauldron, The Great Mouse Detective, and Oliver and Company. And I would argue that maybe the Dark Ages is just to reference that there's dark things that happen in the films, because there definitely is a break between the Rescue's kind of dark too. That's kind of like the transition movie, but
yeah.
There's some heavy-hitting stuff in those four movies, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the people I follow, the era list and where I've been doing my research, I think it's Diz Avenue.
Diz Avenue.
Diz Avenue, man. That might be completely wrong. I'm not sure, but that's what comes to mind when I think about it. And I agree with them making all of this one era as opposed to making a Dark Era Ages list. Because like the only outlier... And the one that, in my opinion, is the best, and it was just impossible to beat, but that's Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, Winnie the Pooh is my favorite of the era. I give it the gold medal because it's just goddamn enjoyable, and the character of Winnie the Pooh has shaped my life so much. I fucking love him. Like, that's who I strive to be.
Damn good movie. Damn good movie.
Yeah, it really is. And beautiful voices, everything about it's great.
Well, I'll say that Winnie the Pooh was a close second. But I really like The Black Cauldron. It's so good. I'm a sucker for fantasy. I wish Disney had more. Well, I guess they do have more fantasy movies, but more like this. I kind of wish that maybe they would have done the book series instead of cramming what they wanted into one movie. But, you know, it also didn't do very well, so that could be why they didn't.
I mean, they could have been setting up a sequel for the rest of the series, and then the chairman just cut it out.
Yeah, he's like, nah. I didn't like
you're not getting a second one.
I don't like the lich thing. That's really weird, guys.
No. Your whole third act, I'm cutting it.
So which one did you like the least?
That's the thing. There are no bad films. So like that's one of the nice surprises. I was expecting to get something that was trash because, you know, supposedly it was such a decline for Disney. But like the people I was all reading was like, this is like the hard times of Disney. And they were all still enjoyable films. Mm-hmm. I give my least favorite to Robin Hood, knowing that's going to piss off a lot of people because it's a lot of people's favorites. But it's my least favorite because it's the exact same as the story, and I've yet to actually been able to sit through it and not fall asleep.
I feel like it has just so much less weight to it than all of the other movies. Like the stakes... Yep. I mean, sure, that Prince John wants Robin Hood dead, but he's such, I don't know what I want to say, he's such a wimp of a villain that it doesn't feel like there's ever really that much danger, because everybody can outwit him. It's pretty easy.
Plus, they just reused animation.
Yeah, and they did do that too, but I'm less sour about that. I think the homage is okay. But it seemed like it wasn't something that actually made the movie easier to make. So why?
Yeah, like if there was a good reason for it, like if it did cut time and money, then sure, that would make sense. But like when I found out that it didn't cut either and it actually made the movie harder for the animators, like why the fuck would you do just a complete exact copy of the animation? It makes no sense.
No, it doesn't. So I think I'm going to agree with you for it being the least of this bunch of pretty good movies. Because there's a lot of things I like in Robin Hood. Like, I like Pat, was it Burnham? No, that's not right. But anyways, the guy who plays the sheriff from Nottingham, I love that voice.
Buttram.
And you get something. And
it was Buttram. Buttram is his.
Okay.
So I would hope it's Buttram.
It's probably Buttram. And I enjoyed that he was in it because I just like that voice, and it was a much bigger character than he'd had up to that point with Disney. Like, he's had a few side roles. And, I love Baloo because it's kind of a character that me and my father bonded over, So I'm good with that too. And also there's just some good bits. Alan Adale and that fucking catchy ass song. I mean, it's still a good movie. It's just, I think, the least out of these.
Yeah, I know. I can think of at least 5 people who, like, if they watch this or if they listen to this episode, they're gonna be like, "Fuck them." Yeah. I know it's people's favorites, and I'm sorry. Like, it's great that it's your favorite. It really is. Like, it's a certainly enjoyable film, like you said. But I don't know. The other ones all sang to me in a different way.
Right. And I wanted to give an honorable mention to The Fox and the Hound because, man, just what they're able to do, like, emotionally in that movie is very impressive.
Agreed.
So is that a show? Or should we not end it on a downer like that?
Downers are great. Okay. Send them crying. Tragedies always make people think they love it better.
You need catharsis. Yeah. Go home and cathartate.
Yeah. DABDA, man. Denial, anger, bargain, depression, and acceptance.
I think that's grief, but...
Fine. Go home and grieve.
Go home and grieve. We're done with the Disney era for now. We're putting it to rest. We'll come back
1 month.
Are we going to tell them what we're doing next?
Yeah, I'm down to tell them what we're doing next. There was a new movie that came out this year, I think, 2022. It might have been at the very end of last year. I don't remember. We'll find out when we talk it. It might have been, but I'm so happy that we're going to talk it because that movie was the Matrix Revelations.
I believe it was Resurrections. Yes,
Resurrections.
And so next Monday, you guys will hear us talk about the OG Matrix. That's its title, the OG
Bullet
Matrix.
Time.
Bullet time. So hopefully that will be enjoyable for us to talk about. I mean, there's a lot of just stuff. I mean, it is definitely a convoluted movie.
Mess.
But it's great. Like, it makes you think because of that. So,
secret preview of The Matrix.
Yes, future review of The Matrix. So, here we are. Bye.
Yeah. I have been the Green Traveler from Gush.
And I have been the Faceless Leon. I got no face. Safe travels and good night. Green and Faceless on the Couch is a proud production of FictionWorks 19. If you like the show, please show your support by rating and reviewing us on Apple Podcasts. Like, follow, subscribe, wherever you might listen. We also now have a Patreon account. If you feel so inclined to support us in a financial manner, please become a patron by visiting patreon.com/greenandfaceless. You can also find more information about us on our Facebook account or on the FictionWorks 19 Instagram account. Thank you so much for listening.